Going live time. And Gary is already here.
What's up, Gary Bear?
Ooh, not that Gary.
Oh.
This is my uncle.
Oh,
Gary.
Uncle Gary.
Yeah.
Super close.
Almost the same thing. Super close to the same thing.
Still let your music.
Oh, it's my phone.
Well, guys, hey, welcome back to Tested Normal. This is Curtis.
And this is Jordan.
And this is a podcast where we talk about anything and everything we want to.
Ba-boom.
This is episode number 48.
Dude,
Guys,
we're getting really close to 50.
We're getting close. We're going to do something extravagant for 50.
We are. Oh, actually, we are.
We might, yeah, right?
No. That's actually going to land perfectly.
Is it going to land perfectly?
Episode 50, people, will be coming to you from
the
Rome.
land of Arome. Arome.
Yeah.
We got some
Is
people
that how
that
you say that? Aroma?
Yeah, I think technically that's the right way of saying it.
Yeah. I think maybe you're going to get denied at the border if you say that.
Guys, I have a cold, though. I have a little bit of
a bug.
Little bug, so never mind that.
Yeah, just ignore that.
Just enjoy
also,
the
your
raspy
energy
voice.
seems a little zapped. You need to get a boost. You've got so many different liquid substances going on over here.
I know.
I feel like you need to pick it up a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you what I am excited about. I'll tell you something that gives me a little boost.
Do it.
I am super excited that today is a very special day. I have the privilege, nay the honor, nay the delight of welcoming a special guest. This is a brother from another mother, and technically a brother that I actually lived with in college, and we've stayed connected through that time and just do life together. This is the one and only Austin Sailors. Welcome.
Good to be here.
Which I did not know your last name, and when I looked it up, I was like, "That's really cool."
It's a cool last name.
Yeah, you don't really see it a lot.
You missed the
nice.
boat. Wait,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, the puns are just, you can go wild with that.
Guys, I'll tell you a little bit about Austin.
I'll stop there.
He is a trained counselor, and he works, though, actually, in the IT world, or kind of the tech world, I guess I would say, in San Fran, the Bay Area. He's also what would you call it?
What would you call it?
Activist,
call it?
A social activist for homeless people, right?
You could definitely say that. Yeah, I mean, I would say maybe more like community organizer, but I've been saying community organizer, but then Lindsay told me that's very political. Like if you say community organizer, that's like you're getting people to vote.
That sounds. It also sounds really vague.
Community together. Yeah. Me and a buddy of mine kind of started what's essentially like a nonprofit consulting group that's connecting tech companies to all kinds of different communities in San Francisco, but especially like helping people that are unhoused. And we've got, San Francisco, as you guys know, is like the most expensive place. We've got a huge homelessness crisis and just a ton of money in tech. And so we're kind of trying to connect those communities together with a lot of stuff we do.
Do you think those things are connected? Like because it's so expensive, that's what causes the amount of homelessness? Or do you think they're just drawn there because of the money?
There's a lot of things. That's a great question. I think, and I will just caveat this by saying I'm not super well researched. Yeah. But I think from what I do know, there's a time in our history where every other city in America just bought homeless people one-way bus tickets to the West Coast, to San Francisco and LA. So that's part of it.
That's how Portland got a lot of theirs.
The weather is better. It's like you don't die if you're outside in San Francisco over the winter, like you would die in Chicago. So there's that. And then, it is just we don't have that much land. Because of tech, there's so many people that want to live there.
It's limited.
Yeah. It's like you have this tiny little peninsula, and then high-rise condos and stuff going in, and so there's just less places. And we were talking about this today. The thing that I feel like people don't talk about a lot. I read the other day that there's twice as many humans on the planet now as there were in the 1950s, 50 years ago, right? So
and all of them are in California.
Every single one is in San Francisco, and we only have so many houses. Yeah. So 2
out of every 3 reside in California.
Right. Exactly.
At least in the U.S.
Is how it should be. But
I've never made it to San Francisco. I've driven past the turnoff to it, and then just kept going. Next time.
No, it's great, but it's disturbing. People come in and they're like. I was surprised. I had a coworker come in from London, and she was like, "This shit is scary." What? And I'm thinking, you're in a world city. You're in London. Of course, there's poverty and homeless.
But you're used to it.
But in San Francisco, you are seeing people using heroin, using needles on the street. There's just you could stay in a hotel downtown, and you're seeing the crisis right in front of you.
There's a lot of people taking taking shits on the street too, right?
Oh yeah, there's human shit everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I mean, there's different neighborhoods, there's different like pockets of it for sure.
For
but
sure, yeah. You could probably
it's
show up there and never
tough.
see any of that and be like, I didn't see any of that.
Totally,
Yeah.
totally. But if you're downtown, you're gonna see it, and you know, it's tough, and it should be tough. Like it should be disturbing to see that kind of stuff, and it's
And you don't
a
live
problem
downtown?
that not just San Francisco has, but it's definitely pronounced there. I feel like San Francisco's kind of like canary in the coal mine for the country. You know, like
Gotcha.
you see it. Would you say? Do I live downtown?
Yeah, you don't live down in that, right?
No, I mean, not too far, like probably like a 15-minute walk from the Tenderloin, which is the neighborhood that's like kind of central to downtown, really gritty, and has a lot of unhoused people there. And that's the place where the nonprofit group that me and my buddy started called Love Lab, we do this Feed the People event where we just get a bunch of tech companies and people to get together, donate food, donate supplies, and then bring it into the Tenderloin and give it out to
Gotcha.
people.
And you target tech companies because they're predominantly there? Or
Yeah, I mean, I think that we partner with a lot of different organizations, but the deal is like tech is bringing in billions of dollars
Oh, yeah,
and
for sure.
has so much wealth.
Mhm.
And I think there's a lot of people that want to do good stuff. And there's like the tech, I mean, I would say so, like there's definitely just your like, you know, Wall Street, like 80s Wall Street kind of people that are
Right.
just like making money, like going crazy, like this is the new economy. But then I think there's a lot of people that are like, we can change the world. Like they have
Right.
this really like high-minded idea of what they can do and they care about stuff.
Yeah.
But then they don't take the extra step to like connect that to their actual community and do something about it. So like our idea is like, oh, hey, this isn't that hard. Like if we can get you to get into the neighborhood, actually help the people that you walk by every day on the way to your
Right.
office, that gives you free lunch
Be a
and is like,
change.
you know, then like you can do something.
So what big tech is in that area? Because when I think of big tech in California, I think further south than that. Like,
Or Silicon Valley.
yeah, more Silicon
I mean,
Valley.
Silicon
They have-
Valley and San Francisco are really like
So Bach-
undifferentiated now.
Bach or Doc, no, Docker, right?
Docker is the company that
I like
used to work
Docker.
at.
I run Dockers at my
Okay,
house.
yeah. I mean, a lot like
And then
Silicon Valley is basically like San Jose to San Francisco and everything in between. Like technically,
Okay.
like Silicon Valley, you know, like Apple started in Cupertino and there's like
Right.
stuff down there. But now a lot of the companies that are in San Francisco are having an office there because also that's like the place that people want to live. So
Dropbox
it's a little
is
bit of
headquartered
everything.
in there.
Oh, nice.
Dropbox, yeah.
Okay.
My wife works
Um,
there.
What was it? Salesforce.
Salesforce
Okay.
just built a huge phallic tower
Is
in
it-
our city that is, you know, it's like the tallest building in the city now. It's not bad, but it's basic.
But it's like a penis for
It
San
is.
Francisco,
It's just
or
like a
San-
big phallus in the middle of the city. And the shitty thing though is that they built this huge thing and then there's not even a public space on the top of it, so you can't like. There's certain hours I think where you can go to an observation deck, but
Oh, really?
there's no park or anything yet. So
Yeah, there's a really cool tall building in Seattle that there's an observation deck. You can go up and look around the city and stuff. and
yeah, a lot of them
it's
have like
pretty
a
rad.
public space where it's like, okay, you're gonna build this huge thing and
Yeah.
like, you know.
Or
change
there's a
the
40th
skyline.
floor Starbucks that you can go sit in, and it's like you're looking at the top of the Space Needle. That's how tall it is.
I've been to that in the
Yeah.
Columbia Tower.
Yeah.
In Seattle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
sweet.
second tallest building, like this side of the Mississippi or something.
Oh damn. Okay.
Dumb like that, or it used to be. I don't know if it
I
is
remember
now.
that view. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So with Love Lab,
Yeah.
what are some of the homeless type of interventions that you guys have seen? Have you guys looked into things that are like effective, or like research or plans the city has been taking place to try to mitigate some of the overwhelming kind of increase in homeless,
Yeah.
basically?
Yeah. Like how to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big question.
I don't want to say infestation.
Yeah, you can help, but what do you do?
Yeah,
What do you do to
you
solve
definitely
it?
don't
I
want
don't
to
wanna
say
say
infestation.
infestation.
It's the last thing you want to say.
But like, I mean, like the people themselves, like, are they like trying to provide jobs, home? You know, like, what's
Yeah.
going on? What's San Fran doing?
Yeah. Yeah, great question. I mean, there's a lot of things. So I don't know. I mean, it's a hard problem to solve because we have like very
Yeah.
limited like housing stock. You know, you got a lot of people in poverty, and then there's there's definitely like people who would rather live a little bit more off the grid or out of the economy. But there's so many people who need services.
Right.
There are some things like there's supervisors. So San Francisco has a board of supervisors, which is like the city council or whatever. And they're trying really hard to open homeless navigation centers, which is basically like a shelter and like a place of services in every district. There's, oh shit, I don't know, like how many districts are there? 9, 10 districts? I don't know. Something like 10 to 12 districts. I don't know. So they're doing stuff like that, and then they're getting a lot of backlash from like a lot of people that own condos like on the waterfront and don't want a navigation center. And these are the same people that are like, we need to clean up the neighborhood, and they don't want to
they don't want it by them.
They don't want the service center there that'll actually help the people from
Right.
shitting on the street, because they think like, oh well, this will bring more people in. And so I think that there's just a lot of like cognitive dissonance around like what can we do and what do we need to do. There's stuff that people are opposing that would help make a dent in it.
Well, one thing you were telling me,
I don't know the
one thing you were telling me that I was really impressed with San Francisco, that I would like it to be more of a national model, is San Francisco is, if you're a resident of San Francisco, they're starting a free college, like a 4-year college.
Oh, cool.
Okay, actually, Lindsay was telling me it's just a 2-year college.
Oh, it is
so I
too?
think I might have been wrong about that. I thought it was,
because that makes sense.
San Francisco City College, right? Yeah. It's not that. What?
The 2 is something.
That's why I thought it was different because a lot of places you can go to community college for 2 years for free, but
Yeah,
they're trying to do that with San Francisco City College. I thought it was longer, but I haven't done the research.
That made me think though, a little bit.
Yeah.
And I understand like not being able to, like, the financial aspect of having universal free education is
Right.
a little bit of a difficult puzzle. However, if you're a resident of that area and you pay taxes into that area,
yeah.
I think it makes perfect sense for you to have a free 4-year college.
If it makes
For
physical
residents.
sense, like it has to pay.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to have it necessarily be free for everyone, but just the residents, And then that seems like a really practical
Well, that's what they do in this
model.
area with like Shemeketa.
Yeah,
So
but
like
that's
if you have a
2-year.
certain, it's 2-year, but again, theirs is 2-year, but you could do a 4-year. It wouldn't look much different, but it's like based on GPA, how you did in high school and everything, and then you get a certain amount towards continuing
and I
education.
mean, super important. I think that that's incredibly important. As a whole nother issue, like higher education and the fact that nobody can afford it and everybody's screwed in this country with student loans. But I mean, it's a hard problem. The homelessness is a hard problem to solve because you have mental health, you have addiction, you have all these other issues that stem from it. And if you can't get people housed, like if you can't get people in some sort of stable living environment, education isn't going to help.
Right.
Other services aren't going to help if they don't have a place to sleep,
Well,
and that's
some
just
of it-
hard because we have limited land and then there's all these laws and people don't want shit in their neighborhood or whatever. But
Right.
it's tricky.
Well, some of it's hard because someone needs to want to get beyond that, and it may just end with helping that person in where they're at. So I think where some people's hangups are, and I think my hangup for a long time was, well, yeah, but they don't want to better themselves. Well, is that really the goal? Like for some people, they're gonna remain there, but they still need help as a human being. And some people are going to get out of it. They actually want help to get out of it.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, I mean, it's not, but it's,
Well, I
you
think,
can't really take them beyond where they want to go.
yeah, totally. And I think that's really logical, but I also think that it's so easy to kind of like focus on those cases where people like might want to live on the street. And there are definitely people that are like, I am happy here. Like I know people in my neighborhood that they have a couple cats in their like little cart and they sleep in this one nook like every night, and that's just like what they want to do.
That's what I was saying is it's
those-
hard to get hung up on that. And I guess over the last few years, I've been thinking maybe that's not the right hang up.
Yeah.
That shouldn't prevent us from helping the other people that actually do need a leg up.
Totally. Because it's like so many of them need help. And then there's like, like pregnant women and families and people with kids and stuff. And so to get hung up on like the few people that maybe don't want housing is like, okay, that's bullshit.
It's the same argument as
fine,
like,
but like,
don't help the people that are just gaming the system. Well, that doesn't mean you don't help the people that aren't.
Right. If you focus on those people, then you're kind of like missing the whole point.
Yeah,
It's
it
like,
seems really depressing then.
Yeah.
But if you look at it a different way, it's just a different way to look at it.
Right. Right.
So it's just my morphing view.
Dude,
Yeah,
speaking
it's
of
interesting.
addiction, did you guys hear about the bummer situations going on with Jordan Peterson?
No.
Yeah. So
I have no idea what's going on.
for
Enlighten
those
me.
of you that don't know, Jordan
I
Peterson
don't
is
know
kind
much
of this,
about him.
I know a decent amount
He
about
eats
him,
a lot of
but
meat.
he is a not political commentator. He's a psychologist and professor in Canada, and gotten a bunch of kind of hot water with different issues, more so with like
He's kind of got like
pronouns and different things.
He's kind of like
He's very logical.
anti-feminist or something.
No.
Isn't he kind of like a little, or he's like pro
anti-Marxism.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a big
Marxism.
anti-Marx. He's like strongly against Marxism.
Okay.
And he's concerned that he's seeing trends leading towards Marxism.
Yeah.
Can
Which
you
would be
give me
like-
like 2 sentences on what Marxism actually is?
So Marxism
Isn't it kind of like
is
communism
a
or socialism?
government. No, it's more extreme.
Okay,
It's like
okay.
a government regulating what you can and can't say.
Okay.
and punishing those that go against what the government deems appropriate.
So like
verbiage.
fascist communism, basically.
Kinda, yeah.
Marxism.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Marxism comes under the pretense of it being better for society, like a societal.
Which would be like Chinese
norm.
Communist Party or whatever, which is like, this is better for everybody, but really they're censoring
Mhm.
shit and they're like kind of controlling.
Yeah. And Marxism was kind of like key by using like social media and or not social media, but that wasn't around when it was established. But basically like as a populist kind of like movement. Kind of thing.
Okay.
So
I would say where people would say Jordan Peterson is against feminism is he's against the push to make not equal. He's for equal rights, but there's a portion of feminism which I've seen, and it's like kind of, it's the part of it that rubs me the wrong way is they're trying to make themselves dominant, like they're trying to make females dominant versus the men being dominant versus fighting for equal rights. And that's what makes it hard. I think that's ruined it for a lot of people that are like, I want women to have more equal rights, which I'm totally for, but they kind of get drowned out by the people that are like, no, they've had it for long enough, now we want to be in charge. And it's made it more of an ism than anything.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's the part. Those are the people that would say he's against feminism. He's like, no, I'm against radical feminism.
Okay.
He's for equal rights.
Got it.
but anyways, so interesting thing with this gentleman, he apparently was seeking a ton of so he had a really hard past couple of years. Like he had a really bad autoimmune disease, and his wife was diagnosed with cancer, and
his kid had something too.
His kid had a really bad autoimmune issue also. But anyways, and he was doing media tours like every day with over like huge interviews with different news outlets. But he got
it's weird the audience he has.
Yeah, it's an interesting audience.
It's a very interesting audience.
But he was taking benzodiazepines for anxiety.
Oh.
And
Strong
he got
stuff.
basically his doctor was prescribing it to him, and then he's like, oh shit, I'm addicted to this. I can't stop taking these. I'm having panic attacks, and when I don't take them, I'm having even more severe panic attacks.
Okay.
Ooh.
But his doctor was still prescribing them to him. He just got worried that like he's addicted and it's not good.
But then when he
That's
tried to stop
interesting.
taking them,
Yeah.
he's like, I can't. Like I'm having like full blown panic attacks now when I don't have it. So,
Which is worse than what he was having before he started taking them.
Which is worse what he was having
Right.
before he started
Got
taking them. So he's like, oh no, like I was prescribed these and I thought these were going to start helping me, but now I feel like I can't not have them.
Now they're the problem.
Yep.
So, anyways, he went to all these hospitals to try to wean off of them because benzodiazepines you kind of need to wean off of a little bit.
Those are rough, yeah.
Some of those, the anti-anxiety ones, if you go off them really fast, you like chances of like seizures and stuff.
Or more suicidal ideation.
Yeah.
Right.
Still, another point of just like how crazy it is, the things that can be prescribed for anti-anxiety when cannabis isn't legal. Is cannabis legal in Canada?
It is now.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll tell him to get on that bandwagon.
But anyways,
like,
so
Yeah, for
we
real.
want to like reduce panic attacks but not be addicted.
now he's in Russia though.
Why?
Just don't take edibles. You might have a panic
Because
attack.
there was some special treatment that U.S. wasn't allowing, and so it was
for
illegal.
panic attacks?
No, for opiate withdrawals or for benzodiazepines.
For benzo withdrawals.
Oh. Is it an opiate?
Weird.
No, sorry, it's not.
It's not. Okay. I was going to be shocked if it was.
No, it's not. Anyway, so that was just a random thing. I was like, oh shoot, I need to tell it because Jordan Peterson's such like a popular figure lately.
So, but this wasn't of his own, like, I'm going out stealing pills. It was he realized I have a problem and he's admitting it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a cool, it sucks for him, but it's also kind of cool that he was able to come out and say that and be forthright. And it's a good example to other people. Hey, come out and say when you have a problem and address it. Like,
also really good for people who address like, this was prescribed to me by a doctor and it's still a problem. So like, I feel like, that's hard sometimes because, we have to deal with that now in this country with the opiate addiction because it's like we have a problem and it's not, people that are like buying crack from, Central America. Like this is stuff that people are like doctors are prescribing. Yeah. And it's messy.
Well, and it's been insane. Like I get to see from the VA side of it, like they just hand them out like candy. Like I could just call in and be like, this is what I want. And they'll give me tons.
That's
and
crazy.
they've kind of started to cut down on it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just whatever. I mean, they were offering me anything and everything.
So interesting.
And I was like,
except for
sorry.
MDMA, which actually solves PTSD. So if the VA is going to
I didn't have PTSD issues. I just had back broken problems.
Well, yeah, that I don't know. I mean, MDMA could help with anything, but I don't know if it would help.
I just forget about it. Like, what back?
I feel better now. I don't know what was wrong before, but I'm great.
I'm great now. Do I have pain? I think.
Maybe. I'll tell you later.
It's over there and it's yellow.
You know what?
And I'm colorblind, so we're making real progress.
Yeah. I can actually identify colors now. Oh, that's great. That's cool. Cool. Well, that's cool. It sounds like you're doing some cool stuff and down there. And
yeah. We got our next.
you had an art show thing, right? That he came down to.
Yeah.
Tell me about that, because he didn't tell me anything about it.
What did you see? What did you come to, Curtis? I'm trying to remember.
There was some art display exhibit you had in your studio.
You were opening.
In the studio. Yeah. So I'm an artist. I'm a painter, and I rent a space in like a shared studio building, and we do open studio shows all the time.
And it was like the opening or something.
Yeah,
it was like a bigger deal.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what that one was. I think it was like just one of our regular open studios.
There was some like open studio. People were coming to see your art display.
Yeah. That's a cool thing. Like that's not that big of a deal. It's just like on a, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a year.
Right.
We open the studio space and let people come in and see like the places that the artists work, and then like have work and stuff up.
That's cool.
I'm working on a body of work for a solo show, which will be really exciting. Like that'll be probably the biggest thing I've done in a few years.
Yeah.
Which is great.
So does that coincide with the other stuff that you do? Like, do you use the art to...
Kind of, yeah. So my partner, Joseph Hancock, him and I started collaborating as artists. He's a DJ.
He's related to John.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Descended all the
and
way
he
down.
likes to sign things.
Yeah, yeah. So we actually started collaborating like artistically. So I would live paint. We'd like throw events. I would paint live, and he would DJ an event, and we would like bring people together, and we just started to try to just do things a little bit more intentionally. Like we had like a phone box for a party where people could check their phones and like choose to just be present. And then we did like, we did a benefit dinner for the wildfires in California, and brought people in, and like we got some artists to donate work, and did this raffle, and just kind of like connecting artists to important things and intentional community, and just like throwing parties with our friends. And then it kind of morphed into this Love Lab thing. And now we have our 4th Feed the People event, which is when we like bring a bunch of companies, nonprofits all together, and go out to the Tenderloin and like feed a bunch of people and get to know our unhoused neighbors.
Whenever you say Tenderloin, I get hungry. I don't...
Right? Once you visited, it won't make you hungry.
No, it's fine. But hearing it, I'm like, that sounds delicious.
Yeah, but people should check it out. If I don't know if you have audience members in San Francisco, but
we have one.
Instagram is just Love Lab SF. You have one? Is that me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, 2 because your wife did.
Somebody
say she
else.
saw me,
yeah,
so.
My wife better be listening.
Yeah.
So, but she already knows about this. But yeah, on Instagram we're just Love Lab SF.
Yeah.
And the stuff's all there. But it's cool to kind of have this community, like social justice oriented, like activism kind of part of my life be birthed out of like a creative partnership, which is cool. And I feel like, I think it's been important for me to kind of realize, I don't know, I've started to think of myself as an artist in different areas of life. Like, maybe this is kind of the archetype of like how I interact. And I think that artists have a place in activism and social justice and community and all kinds of different stuff, but you like show up in a specific way, right? Like you might be more of like a pastor type, or like a teacher, or like there's these different ways that I think you can like interact in your job or in your community, or if you're trying to help people or whatever. And it's been cool to kind of like see how that works as an artist, and how these kind of creative partnerships can build something.
That's what I was going to say, is I think that's where it's unique. And I think a lot of artists miss this. When I think about it, and just thinking about it now, like as I speak, is like they are creative, and so they kind of get pinned into like one spot, like like, oh, I'm an artist, so I just paint. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, but your brain is so much more than that. Like you can put this onto paper and everything. Clearly there's some other things you could do, if that's, because there's a lot of artists that are like, they're not making it, and it's like, well, maybe you're just like really pigeonholing yourself into this one thing you think you desire to do, and you could do that, but you could also do a bunch of other things that might either bring in actual money, or
help your community, or do something
help people. And I think that's cool that that's what you've done, is married those together and been creative with those solutions. And you may not have the solution, and I think you recognize
nobody
that.
does. Like it takes everybody,
but you can do something, and you're being creative with it.
Curtis is
Curtis has the solution.
You think you have the solution too?
Well, I mean,
the world problem.
The world.
Yeah.
I think there's solutions.
No, that's what I said. Everyone, there's solutions. There's no the solution.
No, I think there's the solution for every problem, but the solution isn't always something that everybody would benefit from.
True.
Okay, interesting. So like the problem can be solved. I mean, okay, so we talked about overpopulation.
Yeah.
So the problem can be solved, but just 50% of humanity has to die, and then I mean that's true. Like if there were like if coronavirus like takes out half the world's population, then global warming might be solved, but half the people are dead. So it's just
That's
a
kind of a
trade-off, I
problem.
guess. Yeah.
How about we just stop chopping down the trees that filter our air? I mean, it seems like
that would help quite a bit.
yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that would help.
Well, speaking of
Remove the trees
coronavirus,
around the equator just so the Earth can slim down a little bit.
the coronavirus, guys, is kind of scaring me.
Yeah.
Yeah. As the medical professional here, what do you think?
So it is pretty rapidly spreading, and the number of dead is now up to 900, and that's the amount of reported case that China's allowed us to know of.
So how many more do you think there are? You think it's like twice that in reality?
Oh, easy. Yeah.
Oof.
Well, there was one doctor, like, it was last week or whatever, that got on a VPN and was like because they can't legally do it now. They've made it illegal to even talk about how the country's handled this. They're arresting people for talking about it. And he got on and was like, there's 90,000 cases. And that was like a week or two ago.
90,000
he was saying
cases, but not deaths.
Right.
And they're
there's
reporting
cases.
900
And now there's
deaths.
this last week a doctor died because he worked 10 days straight, overworked, and just died of a stroke. So
Right.
there's definitely more than they're saying.
Yeah.
How much more?
So the problem with the coronavirus currently is several things. One, we don't really know how it's spreading. We don't know that for sure.
Right.
Not sure.
Meaning it could be airborne or
could be droplet,
Just
could be
something else.
contact.
Okay,
Via
okay,
TCP/IP.
Yeah, we know that it is now for sure spreading.
What is that? What's
Over
this?
the internet.
We know
that'd be
that
really scary.
it can spread now from human to human, so it's not just from animal to human.
Right.
We know that it is very highly contagious,
Yeah.
and the lethality of it is now surpassed most common viruses we have out there, even more than influenza now.
Right. Yeah. At first it wasn't, and people were like, why are people freaking out about this? Because I know even my sister was saying that. And she's like, but the influenza kills this many people, but now it's surpassed that. Like it's gotten to the point where it's like, oh no, this is a bigger deal.
It's more lethal.
Right, but
Yeah.
if it's new, you're kind of like, what if this
what do we do?
is the
Where does it
bubonic
stop?
plague and we don't know how to fix it?
Spanish flu is kind of a good example. Spanish flu killed. It was like what? I'm gonna have to fact check this. What was the Spanish flu? But it was like a tenth of the population in the North Americas or something like that.
I don't remember. I wasn't there for it.
Scary. Was not there. No idea.
No.
But all that to be said, like,
So what can we do? Is there what's the solution to, if there's a solution, what's the solution to coronavirus? You got it?
So
You got
the
these-
solution,
Box off China.
The solution.
the solution would have been when the outbreak started for China to have completely isolated that region.
Bring the WHO immediately, like quarantine.
Allow the WHO in right away.
the WHO
And the CDC. So another thing that's shady about this is that this entire time, China as government has not allowed the CDC in.
So
to
Scott
help.
Sincresti is saying aerosol transmission. Have you read about that?
Well, I mean, that's aerosol. I'm assuming he's meaning by like droplet form when you're
Probably.
when you're coughing.
He said we dead.
Yeah,
With no A. Just DED. We dead.
we did.
We did.
It is a very, very contagious. But the sketchy thing is China's not allowing the CDC in to help. They still have today have not allowed them.
This-
Why? What is their motivation?
This seems
I think that
so
they
much
don't
like
want-
Russia trying to cover up the explosion. Like,
Okay, you guys want to hear deep state
yes.
stuff?
Do it. That's what we're here. We're to test normal.
Okay, so
Give it to us.
in Wuhan, China,
Mm-hmm.
one of the main viral research centers was in Wuhan,
Okay.
where they studied the severity and they studied the deadliness of different viruses, and they tested them on different animals and in different ways.
That's where it broke
What?
out.
And so there's theories out there floating around that this coronavirus
Oh, shit.
was mutated in the lab and accidentally released by one of the workers, and they don't want,
Or purposefully.
or purposefully, and
because
they don't
people
want,
are trying to decimate the population to get back to our
they don't want us to
original
know
point
how
of a crazy solution to
it came to be. So we've heard all these different animals. We've heard, it was bats. Then we heard it was snakes. Then we heard it was this like armadillo-looking thing. So
Wait,
we don't
what?
really know.
Wait, armadillo what? Like a wombat or
No, it was like
porcupine?
First of all,
It
wombat
looked like-
is nothing like an armadillo.
It's the same size.
it looked
Okay,
like
yeah,
it
that's
looked
fair.
like an armadillo. Like I can't remember the name
It's
of
like
it,
a
but they were
Chinese
like
armadillo.
because these Chinese individuals
Lab grown
Or
baby is what Scott says.
eating.
Oh, he said lives on surfaces up to 5 days? ? And then he said what he meant by aerosol was meaning it's smaller than droplets is what's transferred.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and the thing with droplet, so that'd be airborne basically.
Right. It's airborne, but it's
Got it.
less than a droplet.
Droplets when you cough and little
You find it on
spit
surfaces.
gets on
more
somebody
often.
versus
Yeah.
like airborne is just like
That is
it can come
freaky.
off of you. It's terrifying.
Yeah, dude, it's bad.
We should
But
rebook our
is
flights
it
and just go
worse
to
than-
China instead.
Oh my god.
Is it worse than? I'm trying to think of the last like
Ebola.
thing. Yeah, Ebola, I guess.
Ebola is much harder to catch. It's not much harder. Ebola is harder to catch. Basically, it's more
Okay.
it's contact.
Harder to contract.
It's by contact, so it's not in the
Okay.
air.
Oh, got it. I thought you meant catch, like know somebody has it. You mean actually
Contract.
contract
Yeah,
it.
you
Got
contract
got
it, yeah.
Okay, so this is just
Way easier.
contracted way easier.
So,
way
for an
quicker.
example, there's a ship that's docked in Japan, and it has, I think it was like 2,500 passengers on it right now. It's a cruise ship, and the Japanese government is quarantining the ship. Well, on like the first day, they found like 4 people had the coronavirus,
Uh-oh.
and then the next day it was like 20. And then it was like 60, and now they're up to like I think 95.
And it's just sitting there docked still.
Yikes.
Can you imagine being on that boat and not having it yet?
So there's I think there's 95 people with tested positive for the coronavirus. Several of them there's 12 Americans on the ship.
Okay, does everybody die that gets it?
No.
No.
Not that we know
What's
of.
the fatality
Not that we know of.
rate or whatever? Like
So
how likely are
The
you
percentages,
to die
I
if you
think
get
it's close to 5% now.
it? 5% die if you get it?
I think that's
Oh,
what
that's
it's
not
at.
that bad though. Like maybe that's still bad.
It's higher than the flu.
Okay.
Influenza is like
Yeah.
a little between 2 and 3%.
Okay.
Which is kind of crazy. We don't even think about the flu like that.
But that's just what we know of right now. I mean,
Right.
it could be much higher. And like MERS, same thing as like SARS, except it was Middle Eastern
Okay.
respiratory syndrome. MERS was I think 8%.
SARS stood for South Asian.
No,
Respiratory Syndrome?
severe acute respiratory syndrome.
Oh, and MERS was what?
Middle Eastern respiratory syndrome.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Super close though.
They're all part of the same coronavirus family though.
Oh, scary.
So,
It's all terrifying.
anyways, this ship though has 12 U.S. citizens on it, and some of them are from Oregon actually, and they've tested positive.
Yeah. In Portland, there was at least one that when we talked about last time, 2 weeks ago.
Are there any interventions that help people survive?
He said Scott said flu is 0.1%.
No, it's higher than that.
You think so?
Yeah,
Well, it's
Could die.
the elderly.
it's much higher than 0.1% in the U.S. You should check. I'll double
Here,
check with CDC.
Pull the iPad up real quick.
Um,
Show this picture. If you're having a bad day, just remember you could be the guy who's driving a bus full of potential coronavirus carriers to quarantine
Oh, shoot,
while being
sorry, it's
observed.
not-
Oh, I
it's
didn't
not
put it
showing.
up there. Hang on. I'll put it up there. You can give it a second. There we go. Look at this guy. he's driving a bus full of people. Look at the guy behind him. He's in a suit, and the bus driver is totally not. Terrifying, right?
that's really funny.
He's like, maybe he has it, and they're like, well, you've already got it.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Keep driving the bus.
Yeah, keep driving the bus,
Don't
man.
stop driving the bus. Whatever.
Even the guy on the motorcycle looks scared. Yeah.
Oof.
That's estimated as a case fatality rates.
Okay, you
Yeah,
can take
so
it off
scary.
the
Okay,
iPad
so
now.
I think what he's referencing is there was a flu pandemic between 1957 and 1968 that had 0.1% to 20% death rate. But
that's quite the variance.
that's quite a variance on that one.
Huge.
But today, you think it's around
Yeah, I think
2.
it's closer to between 2 to 3 but that usually is more prevalent with infants and
Elderly.
geriatrics,
Yeah.
and immunocompromised. But so it's kind of scary to me because we have no vaccine. And the reason the flu has a much lower death rate is because we have a vaccine that actually has a significant impact on the severity of the symptoms. So
we've got to wait and see if China figures some stuff out. You said that they just had the WHO come in?
Well, so the WHO was supposed to fly in today.
Did they?
I don't know. I don't know if they made it.
Okay, got it.
But the problem...
It's pretty crazy that we have Doctor Who on the thing.
The super sketchy thing about it is like...
on
deck. The part that's really frustrating to me is like, not only is the CDC going potentially help with containing the outbreaks and decreasing the spread, but they would potentially have epidemiologists in there that would help to find a cure. And so it's like, man,
why is it taking this long?
The more minds we have on the ground,
yeah, totally.
Why limit that?
Right.
But China's hiding something, I think.
I think so too. And it's the only reason I would think so, because I love conspiracies, but at the same time, like I kind of hate them because I think it drives a lot of fear in people. But with this, like, it seems like where they've put their most efforts is in keeping people quiet. So right off the bat, instead of trying to figure out how to contain it, they were arresting people for talking about it. And then now they've created laws to keep people from talking about it and to keep from bad-mouthing the country for how they dealt with it. And like, you would never see that here.
Back to Marxism, right? I mean,
right, yeah.
Jordan Peterson would just be up in arms, sounds like.
Except he's dealing with drugs.
Right. He's got his own problems. Right?
Yeah. Which is fine. He needs to deal with that. We'll
figure that shit out.
We'll take over for you, Jordan, for right now and say, this is terrible. We need to deal with this problem and not silence people for your problems. Everyone makes everyone has, their shortcomings, and you handled it wrong. Just admit it and move on. Let's contain it and figure it out. We'll charge you the bill for creating a vaccine since you decided to not handle it.
You can take that.
You can handle it. You can handle the couple $1 billion it takes for us to make a vaccine.
Oof. Yeah, when this stuff, I mean, I'm not necessarily proud of this. Maybe I should be. I just kind of like, there's a lot of like global news that I just ignore. I'm like, okay, I can't do anything about this. I can't sit around thinking about it.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes that is I think that is actually a good thing. It makes me feel bad when I don't know about things that are happening in the world, or like bad things or like, I just kind of ignore coronavirus
There's
stuff.
so much out there though.
Right, but then you got problems like in your backyard or in your own community. So like there is something good about,
although this one could actually affect
on local
you.
news. Right, but it's like, what can I do about it? Like I can't do anything. I wait around until the coronavirus shows up. I guess like, wash my hands, like keep my baby safe, but
and wear like the masks like they do in Hong Kong.
Probably like don't fly. I probably shouldn't have flown here from San Francisco.
No,
like,
no,
I was like
you're
scared
totally
about it. But it's tricky. But yeah, I mean, humans are only made, like, we're only really capable. What's that, like, evolutionarily we're like capable of knowing and being able to be in a community of like 200 people or something.
Yeah,
and then as it gets bigger, it's just
small.
like our minds blow. Like we can't figure it out.
Yeah.
It's just so anxiety provoking to have to like care about the whole globe all the time,
Yeah.
That's why I just
watch the news. I think caring versus like knowing. Like I think caring
versus knowing is different, right?
So my pushback to that would be more people having the knowledge of things. So like Hong Kong, take that for example. Like them wanting their freedoms. There's a ton of people suffering because of this whole classist idea and really socialism and communism trying to re-infiltrate where they're at, and they don't want it.
Yep.
You can't do anything about that. But knowing about it and letting other people know about it, like there's some power in more people knowing about it.
True.
And that now that country knows, and China knows that the whole world is watching.
Yeah.
Versus if they try to hold on to it,
for sure,
they continue to contain that because they know that there's some power in people thinking that China's okay.
Yeah.
Because we buy a lot of shit from there.
Right.
And maybe we won't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we won't, but
right. Or we'll keep doing what we've been doing. But yeah, no, I'd say point taken. Point taken. It's got to be a balance of
stressing about it though. I totally get that.
Right? Yeah. Gosh.
Knowing and caring are different than stressing about it, thinking you're the solution. But maybe you know someone that is, and that's another thing.
But also, I would also argue, kind of what you're saying, but the opposite in a way, where sometimes it's okay to care but not know. I almost feel like my attitude is I care. If you tell me more about Hong Kong, I know that there's stuff going on. I don't know I don't know much about it.
Yeah.
I would care about it if I knew about it, but I'm
Right.
not also like not spending my time trying to know about everything that's going on in the world because it's
Right,
just
right,
overwhelming for me. But also I think that goes back to like, if you're a journalist type person, you're going to be figuring stuff out. Like you guys are doing this podcast, you're like learning stuff all the time. I think of myself as like an artist. I got to focus on the thing right in front of me, or I got to kind of like put blinders on and zero out. Otherwise I'll just go insane. I can't think about global news all the time. I just don't. The way I think about it though is like people who are leaders, and I think that people don't think about this probably like more as broad as they should, because everyone in their regard is a leader of something, whether it's themselves or it's a small sphere of people that are around them or whatever. If somebody knows about it and they think, oh, I know this guy Austin and he's been looking for something to really focus on, so I have a sphere of influence, and then maybe I can't do anything about it, but I know that you're looking for something to do, and that you're looking for an area to put your creative efforts into, and then all of a sudden that knowledge becomes power. Because I can't do anything about it, but the thing I can do about it is connect the people to it that can. Totally.
And so the more people in the world that know about that problem, maybe even a little bit, they can be like, oh, I know this person and this person and this person and this person, and one of them sticks.
Yeah.
And that changes the global spectrum of things. Yeah. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so maybe you not focusing on it because you would become overwhelmed by it is totally fine, because everyone's different.
Right.
But all of a sudden I know about it. I'm like, dude, I know this one guy that might have something to say about it.
Totally.
And I can let him know about this one thing because he's not going to find out about it any other way. I don't know. That's how I think about the world. But
yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, I think that I've been thinking about this. I was just talking to Joseph, the guy who I do Love Lab stuff with.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about how we show up differently in the world, and this kind of like, the leader, he's got a little bit more of this like leader mentality of like, I'm gonna like, I got an idea, I'm gonna blaze this trail, I'm gonna tell people like how to get on board. And I can do that sometimes, but then I burn out so quickly in that kind of a role, and I've got to kind of step back and be like, okay, I gotta just,
which is good to know,
tune stuff out and focus on this one little sphere. And I think that there's so much, I think that everybody's so different, and it's good.
But if he finds someone that's like him, and you find someone that's like you, all of a sudden that could be like, we're going to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Or we're going to go to China, and we're going to spearhead this in there. And so now Love Labs is there.
Totally.
So
Yeah. And
which is cool. I think it has more potential than you think.
So many. Yeah, totally. Gosh, overwhelming though. I mean, there's like enough.
But you don't have to think about it, because then it's someone else's.
Right.
I'm talking about diversifying.
Totally. If anybody
you keep doing what you're doing, but then all of a sudden you have someone that's like, just keep doing this, do what I do, man, and just if you have any questions, let me know, and then they're off doing their thing.
Totally. And like whatever you're doing in your community, like that can be a model that can work for anybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
That's cool,
dude.
What else you got,
Jordan? Well, I think we should do some of these product reviews real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So recently we had someone reach out to us and said, hey, do you want to review these products? And I said, well, yeah, if you're just going to give them to us and let us look at them, absolutely. I love to look at products. I love little tech gadgets, and that just so happen to be what they are, and they're teeny tiny. And so
what do we got?
The first one I have is I got these headphones, which are really cool. They say they're RCA. Pretty confident that they're not, but they're still pretty cool. And they're individual little earbuds, and they're Bluetooth, and I've used them with my phone for this last week. And the case has a battery in it, and they charge, and they're pretty rad, especially for the fraction of a cost from AirPods.
How much are those about?
So these are about $40. And again, we're not like endorsing these or saying like go out and buy these or whatever, but it's just something fun that we can pass along to you.
No, I mean we could say for
the cost is interesting. That's actually a really good point, because my first thinking is like, how are those better than AirPods? Because AirPods are pretty well designed for Bluetooth.
The main advantage.
The AirPods are $130.
Right?
No. They're more than that.
They're like $160.
They're like $160. If you get the AirPods Pro, they're about $250. These are $40. The main difference between these and the AirPods is when I open this lid, it doesn't say, do you want to pair these? I have to pair them manually. And then AirPods have this feature where if you have a MacBook and an iPad or whatever, you can go in and just say, this is the device I want to use. So once you pair your AirPods to an iPhone, they'll work on any other iOS or macOS device that you have. They will work because they use your iCloud account in order to transfer that pairing between the devices. So these don't do that. I will say they're not super difficult to repair. If I just forget them on my phone and then open up the case, they will pair with my laptop very easy.
All right.
I'm excited to use them on our trip to Rome, and they have a USB-C connector to charge them. Charge pretty fast. Has a battery in that charge them up. I think they last about 4 hours. I've actually not run these out. I have AirPods that I've had for the last 2 years, and they tend to run out now in a couple hours, but I use them like religiously every day for the last 2 years, and so they've been kind of an issue. But these are pretty cool, and I can put a link up for them. We don't get anything for that, but they sent them to us, and they're pretty fun.
We get the product for free. So
yeah, we got the product, but
that's cool.
We don't get anything when you click on it.
We'll
and buy
take it. We'll
So-
take that.
And then did you try out this Bluetooth speaker today?
So yeah, we got a couple other little things here.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I gave the rest to Curtis,
Yeah.
so I'll let him talk.
So this little Bluetooth speaker here. Go ahead and let me see.
Yeah. I don't have that
Whoops.
thing. You do.
Whoopsie daisy. So it's a pretty cool little speaker. Got a little.
Did you do some bumping?
I
Did
did
you
a little
dance?
bumping.
Do you have a dance party? Did you and
Austin
Austin
and I
have a
did a
dance
little
party?
Yeah, all the kids too.
It's
It
called
was a full house.
Sainig or Sanag.
Oh, that kind of looks cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool size.
It's a cool little size. It's got a little carabiner on it, you know.
Carabiners are nice touch.
And I was looking at the product review. I'm like, okay, is this waterproof? And it has like a little like.
It's like water resistant.
Yeah,
right?
so it's water resistant, which isn't bad.
That kind of looks like my UE, but
It's
shorter.
a nice size, decent size. The bass isn't great on it.
A little fuzzy, yeah.
A little fuzzy if you turn it too loud. Also, the highs.
Oh, I have some pretty expensive speakers that are that small, and the bass on those aren't that great either. It's just not enough size.
The high end on it sounds okay. Basically, it's just a nice little thing. It's a decent feels quality, feels decent.
But that one
size.
was like, I can't remember what that was. It wasn't that expensive.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's
and
the
if you're gonna
price?
throw it next to like,
or like $30, $20.
yeah, I think it was. It was. I think
Okay,
it was
yeah,
less
that's
than
good.
25.
Less than 25. That's pretty good. In
So
that case,
check
again,
out
the price.
Sanag.
was-
Yeah, I mean, you could just throw it next
Snag.
to your picnic or boat or
Yeah.
something and just like chill out. I have a
came
friend that with the
charged.
carabiner like clips it onto his kayak when he goes
Yeah.
fishing
I-
and just like bumps
yeah.
tunes down the river.
I was gonna
and-
say I'd clip it on my belt when I'm riding around the city on my bike.
There you go.
Like, that'd be pretty easy. Or stroller. That'd be a good.
or on a
like,
bag
stroller clip
or something like
actually.
that. Yeah, that would
Strip
actually
that
be awesome.
Right on the front of your stroller or like your.
It looks a little
Cargo
too big to
carry.
put in like a cup holder, but would work on a like bar or something like that.
So I just wanted to
Nice.
verify. I looked up with what Scott was saying as far as percentages goes of deaths.
Yeah.
Who's Scott, by the way, am I supposed to know who Scott
He's
is?
just someone
buddy
that's
of Jordan's.
commenting on
Nice top audience member, biggest
And
fan.
I do want to
one of our biggest fans.
Well, he
Nice.
said
Hey,
he was
Scott.
Scott was closer to the accurate on the numbers. The accurate as far as the 3% numbers go, ranging up to 20%, were past pandemics of the flu that we had
gotcha.
in the U.S. and in the world, where we had like the Spanish flu or we had the H1, the avian flu. Certain ones had a higher death rate.
Yeah.
Where influenza type A and type B were the closer to that 1%, the 1% to 0.1%.
Yeah. Cool.
But then other product I wanted to show you guys real quick.
I like our fact checkers that like call us on our BS.
It's nice.
I'm totally fine with
Super
that.
helpful.
I'm totally fine with being wrong. This one actually, I was pretty
Okay.
excited because this was very specific to
This is
your
interesting.
little eyes.
So this is another product somebody sent us, graphene, and these are heat eye masks. So anybody that has like chronic dry eyes, which I do, which sucks.
Yeah.
At least you're past the goggle stage.
Yeah. I used to have to wear these humidity goggles, but basically these little goggles, they have like a heated filament, and they basically look like a nighttime mask.
They actually look really comfortable and they're
Yeah.
super soft.
Pretty comfy.
So you are supposed to wear them at night, right? That's the idea. You go. You
Well,
sleep
you don't
with
want to
them?
wear them while you're driving.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Basically,
Self-driving
they
cars
just
right
like
now.
they heat up, and then they warm the little oil glands on your eyelids, and they can help with dry eyes.
So you tried them last night. What'd you think?
What'd you? Yeah. What'd
They're
you
pretty
think?
comfy.
Yeah?
I don't think I'd wear them all night, but I think they're
No.
like a nice thing to just wear for a little while.
I mean,
It'll be
especially
interesting
if you need an
to-
eye mask anyway. Like if you're just trying to block out light.
So it's going to be really cool if you bring them on our trip because you could sleep on the plane pretty easy.
That's true.
And then
Travel.
also,
oh yeah, last thing we had was a. I'm
But-
wearing it right now.
yeah.
Actually, I want to compare it. So I'm wearing this. It's called the Smart Bracelet.
Ooh, bad name.
Unleash your run.
Unleash your run.
All right, they should work on that name
Yeah, it's not the
if they're gonna try to get
catchiest
into
name,
the.
but it's just like everybody's seen those little
fitness
Fitbit
tracker.
trackers.
It
you know?
looks like a Fitbit, yeah. And it
Um,
pulls out and charges. Don't
okay.
charge it upside down or else it won't
Yeah,
charge.
it's weird. So basically, you just pull it out and plugs directly into like a USB port.
Ew.
It pulls out of the bracelet.
But what's interesting about it is it's kind of just easy to use. So like you just push the button once, and then it shows.
It's like turned off when you turn your wrist down.
So it shows you how many kilometers you walked, how many calories you burned that day.
Oh, it doesn't have miles.
Shows you your.
I'm sure you
heart
could,
rate.
but he hasn't changed it in the app yet.
And this is one thing I want to test it. Supposedly, it shows your blood pressure.
I'd be interested because it showed a shockingly great number for your blood pressure.
Showed a really low blood pressure, like 96 over like 70 or 60.
That's like almost what mine is.
Which would make me hypotensive, and I'm probably pass out if it was truly that low.
I think I'm 110 over 70.
So, and then it will show you also your O2 sats, which is cool. It's nice to be able to see your oxygen saturation.
Which people have like said like forever that the Apple Watch should be able to do, and it has this sensor for it, and Apple's never turned it on because of FDA stuff.
Which is dumb. Which is dumb. Yeah. They should let you see it. But yeah, and I think this was $30.
No, it was like 23. Like it was shockingly like
pretty
reasonable.
Close.
And I don't know if it shows. Does it say if it shows like text or anything like that?
Yes, it does. It'll show you messages.
Oh, that's
you
cool.
can link it to your phone.
So that's cool for a fraction
Smart
of the price.
Boom, boom.
If you want to try one out,
it's actually comfy. It's not bad.
Yeah,
a little black.
And it does look like one of the older Fitbits. So that's pretty rad.
Check it out.
Nice.
Okay.
Sweet. Yeah, that's fun, and we have a couple more things coming too.
Yeah, we have a couple other things we'll throw at you guys, let you know. But all that to be said,
Gary said, "Nice, you arrived at advertisers." Yeah, they didn't really pay us anything. They were just like, "Do you want to review?"
But that
these
does
products?
pay it.
So
that's
so we get them for free. Yeah. They send us products. That's fun. I like it.
In summary,
that's
guys,
what influencers get. You get
watch
free
out
stuff.
for the coronavirus. Wash your hands.
Seriously,
don't share cups.
Don't share cups.
Don't kiss strangers.
Yeah. Especially
and
just been on a plane.
start ramping up on your immune system.
Do you have any TILs this week?
I have some shower thoughts. I don't have many TILs. Oh wait, no, I do have I have a shower thought, a personal one that I made.
Do it. Do it right now.
So, what are our five senses, right?
Right.
Taste, smell,
touch,
smell, vision, and hearing.
Yeah.
Right. What are the most common artistic expressions associated with each of those senses? So I would say for vision, it would be like either movies or painting.
Yeah.
Right.
Visual art of some sort.
For touch, what would it be?
That's a harder one.
That's an interesting one.
I mean, you could.
What would be the most? What would be an artistic expression?
An artistic expression
for touch.
My son
massage.
Paints.
Massage.
Yeah.
And he paints he'll do a lot of
I don't know if that's an artistic expression.
Oh sure. Well, maybe not.
I mean, it can be.
I think it is because it's
I think it is because every person's different.
Totally. I mean, you could call it any. Yeah, but I'm just trying to think it's
very creative.
Yeah.
I would say massage is the tactile sense, artistic expression for tactile.
Okay.
But there are some drawing and arts that are too.
Well,
so my son does a lot of paint and he will rub a certain texture to get pencil drawings and stuff like that.
But it kind of depends on it. So it's interesting though because if you're talking about for visual, if you're talking about a painting, that's made by touch, right? So it depends on if you're the artist or you're the experiencer. If you're thinking about the audience,
the audience.
For vision, it's like a painting, but for
unless
touch,
you're blind.
If you're thinking about the audience, true. If you're blind, you don't get vision. You're just you're down one sense. If it's touch though, as
artistic
an audience,
expression of touch. I'm pretty sure that's called porn. That's a comment we just got.
Yeah, fair. That's fair.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so then we have visual, we have touch.
Yeah.
What is
cooking? Obviously, food.
Cooking for taste,
right?
Yeah.
But what is for smell?
Probably incense and candles and stuff, right? It's you make,
Scentsy?
You make those.
Scentsy dealers?
Yeah.
They sell a little candle wax.
Ooh, flower arranging.
Ooh,
florist.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
florist.
more of an artistic. If you're trying to think of
that's visual, but it would be smell too.
Well, yeah.
I think perfumes. I think perfume is probably the most
too. Yeah.
artistic expression of smell.
That's fair.
Right.
I think that after I eat a lot of eggs, I have an artistic expression of smell.
I would say you have a very interesting artistic take on smell at that point. I would say flower arranging maybe hits all the senses, because you're looking at it, you're smelling it,
you touch it.
You don't taste it, I guess.
You could.
What hits all of them? What's an artistic expression that you can?
Well, let's finish. Let's finish them real quick though.
What else is there?
We did.
What did we do?
Hearing would be
Okay,
like music
music,
or
easy
you know,
one.
orchestra. Yeah.
We did hearing
Or
sight.
MDSA, SDMA, or
ASMR.
ASMR.
Got it.
You got it.
You did it.
So wait, we did touch, taste, smell, sight. What's the last one? What did we miss? Touch,
Hearing.
hearing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
One
Yeah.
that
So what does all of them?
all of them. Ooh, that's a tricky one.
Because I would almost say like floral arrangements or something like that.
But it's not really audio though. Floral's
But that's
not
not audio necessarily, right? It's hard to
Is there
get them all.
something? Okay, guys,
Is there
out there.
something that does all of it?
There's
Listen,
something that does all
out
of
there,
them.
guys.
Full sensory experience.
Ooh.
Maybe
food-
that needs to be my next art project.
food
If there's
comedy.
nothing out there, then I'm on it.
Is there something out there, guys, that satisfies all the senses as a form of kind of artistic
It
expression?
could be like wine painting parties.
This is interesting. I mean, so I told you earlier I'm planning my first solo art show. And it's going to be based on this work that are kind of these like very detailed mandala drawings, which are in paintings, which are this kind of like style that I've been doing where I start with like a central image. A mandala is like a circular meditation. I did it a lot when I was an art therapist.
Okay.
And you start with something in the center, and
That
then
sounds
you like
fascinating,
do
too.
another layer, and then you do another layer, and a lot of it's like geometry and abstract shapes, and then like nature scenes,
Like mathematical shapes.
like more like
I mean, not
geometric.
mathematical. Like I'm doing like like I don't know,
Like triangular,
I'll show you.
square.
Wait, can I show
Yeah,
you
it
now?
sounds. I had to do a paper in college on Coke's Snowflake, and it was like an artistic expression of math.
Oh,
Super nerdy.
You guys, Lindsay, my wife just texted. She's nailed it. The all sensory thing, artistic expression is sex.
Oh,
Everything, all of them.
Interesting.
That's it. She nailed it. All right,
Linz. Strong
All right.
work, girl.
That's that's for sure true. Okay, but what I was gonna say with this,
The taste is a little bit of a
taste
interesting.
is
Oh.
all in sex. You can't have any sex without taste. I mean, unless
Yeah.
you're like, I'm not gonna kiss you at all. It's gonna be very
True.
like non.
kissing.
I mean, right? Like almost
Yeah.
always you at least kiss something.
No, you kiss.
That's taste.
Yeah.
It's all of it.
Yeah, it's
she
all
nailed
of it.
it. She nailed it.
Very
That
good.
is the
and,
artistic
and
expression.
she
It hits
nailed
all
it
the
is
senses.
a funny way to put it.
And she did nail it many times.
Ba-dum-tch.
We
But
do,
this
we do have a
art
son,
show,
so it's just proof.
so I have these paintings and these drawings and stuff. One of the things that I want to do is these sculptures with driftwood that has flowers, like that has a place for like a thin vial of water, so that I can go. I'm gonna go to like a florist market or whatever and get a bunch of lilies and stuff that like smell really strongly.
Yeah.
And put them in these sculptures, and then I have this idea for like a tunnel that you're kind of, because I want it to be very experiential, the show.
Right.
And because all the work is kind of these interactive, like circular layers, this kind of like life and death, like abstract geometrical shapes and nature scenes kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I want it to be this interactive nature experience. So I have this like idea of this flower tunnel, because we get these lilies at the farmers market on Saturdays, and they just smell. You walk into our kitchen and it's like boom,
Yeah.
these lilies hit you like crazy with the smell. So I want to make this kind of even just like 4 or 5 feet of kind of like a tunnel that you walk through that is all lilies, just
You
like
have
the
little
whole thing
fans.
is
You have
coated
little
in it.
fans, like hidden
blows the
behind them,
smell.
blowing the smell.
But so like it's visual art, right? And then I want my buddy Joseph to like DJ or play music. I have a few people that I want to do some music for, right? So there's going to be
Right.
music at the show. You're walking in, you're experiencing it. The sculptures I want to be tactile so that you can touch them, and the flowers I want you to like touch as you go through. So that's smell, touch, taste, sight.
Wait,
So
what's
if
the
I
taste?
well, I
gonna
don't
be?
have taste. That's the thing. I was going to say if I can add taste, my art show can have everything. Like maybe that should
True.
be the goal. Is that like
Yeah.
if I add? I mean, you add you add like wine. I mean, that's kind of cheating,
Yeah.
but like you have wine and snacks and stuff.
But that's
if
cool.
I add something artistic on
You know what'd be
purpose
cool?
about taste,
If
then
you
it's
made
all
a
of it.
theme, like all of your
Yeah.
show, you should just make a show like all of your tactile senses are going to be met during this show, artistic show, and make that a common thing that you always do. That could be your thing.
That'd be cool.
Wine,
'cause I want it to be
wine wouldn't be
interactive.
cheating, but it would be like the average. Like
Right. It's not cheating.
Everyone
but it's kind of
does
like
that.
Not expected.
Yeah.
If you want it to be kind of a challenge of like this art show is going to engage all of
Yeah.
your senses,
It would have to be something that would
something
go
a
along
little
with
bit
it.
more purposeful.
Anyways, so all
Yeah.
good things. All good things.
Love it.
Yes.
Very cool.
So wait, these are shower thoughts. These
That
are
was a
just
shower
your-
thought
Well,
that
I want to
had.
show you something funny real quick
Okay.
too. So I found this image and it's a pie graph of things that you worry about at the airport. Since we're getting ready to fly at the airport, what if I miss my flight? What if I board the wrong flight? It's like slightly smaller. What if my flight crashes and I die today? It's tiny small. And then the biggest, like 75% of the pie graph is, what if I accidentally have a bomb in my bag? Like, seriously, I don't know how many times I've gotten to that line and I've been like terrified that I have something in here that I did not intend.
Wait, did you create this pie graph?
No, I did not.
Oh, you found it. Okay.
This is on Reddit. Yeah,
I love it.
That's really funny.
Yeah,
that's good.
All right, guys, we're gonna rattle off some shower thoughts and wrap it up tonight. Okay.
Boom. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna throw one out there first. I was thinking on Star Wars, there must be a lot of different toilet styles in the Star Wars universe.
Oh, there has to be.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That's a good point. Like, how many different bathrooms are there?
I often think about this when I'm watching a movie. I'm like, where do they poop and when?
Right.
Because they've just traveled through space for 3 weeks. Somebody had to poop.
Yeah.
Like, where is the bathroom on the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the Death Star? How many bathrooms does Death Star have?
Right.
Because there's
I feel like you got to see a lot more of the Millennium Falcon in Solo, which I just watched.
Yes.
You know, like
that's a good movie.
You see Lando's coats or whatever, his capes.
Yeah. Right.
There's like a lot more to it than you'd think.
True.
There's got to be a toilet, but you didn't see the toilet. But
no.
It's got to be there.
It's got to be a vacuum or something.
Yeah, just sucks those turds. No, you have to recycle it probably. It's like a
probably.
You know, like one of those. What are those
closed
things?
loop.
That's one thing. Like in The Expanse, which I just finished
good.
Caught up on, by the way, that they don't ever show bathrooms either, and they're very much in zero gravity a lot of the time.
I haven't seen that. Is it good?
Oh, dude,
it's phenomenal.
In a movie,
gosh.
a film, The
It's
Expanse.
a TV series on Amazon Prime.
Space.
I've seen it, but
Dude.
I'm kind of like,
so
let's watch all of it right now.
So the first season's a little hard to get into at first,
but it's worth it.
But it's,
once you break through,
every season, like I love the history. So there'll be like these history spots where it's like it shows like a clip of their history. It feels like you're learning something about your world.
Okay,
but it's really about like the drives for the
beautiful.
No, it's the drives that make them go that fast. Like the guy that discovered them, and I won't spoil like that.
Okay,
but that was like fascinating to watch. And like this is the history of this, and this is the history of this. It's very political. Like,
but guys,
I don't know you well enough, Jordan. But any sci-fi recommendation from Curtis,
yes.
I would
highly recommend it.
He recommended it to me, and I'm recommending it to you. So
yeah.
you can just be his grandchild.
That's perfect. I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next shower thought. A considerable amount of YouTubers' revenue probably ends up coming from people that fall asleep.
Hang on.
On autoplay.
This is a really good comment. I didn't hear it.
That's really good.
I didn't hear anything you just said, and you can say it again in a second.
That's
right. Yeah,
Scott Sincresti just said the Death Star bathroom would be a total mess with the stormtroopers' aim.
Oh, dude.
That's good. That's good.
Oh, that's really sorry. Reread what you just said.
I was just saying, a lot of YouTubers' revenue probably comes from people that fall asleep with autoplay on.
Oh, dude, seriously.
Right?
Yeah,
that would be.
Sure.
I mean, you can't quantify.
I want to see a calculation of how much of
the
the revenue comes from just the bathroom. Like people watching videos in the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
It's got to be like 90% of their income.
Yeah.
I bet 90% of tweets come from the bathroom.
That's from the president alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe superheroes wear capes to hide the zipper on the back of their onesie.
Ooh, that's good.
That's funny.
Laws
are for poor people. It takes incredible lengths at a lot of time to find a wealthy and powerful person guilty, which almost always results in no real punishment. It takes minimal effort and no time at all to find a poor person guilty. And something they may not have even actually done.
That's very true.
Yeah, true.
Laws are for poor people.
Snaps. Wait, that's your shower thought that you wrote down?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. You read it very officially, almost like.
Well, I had to write it down.
Came from somewhere, but no, that's true. It's 100%. That's
Nobody gave us the source code for how our bodies work, so we basically spent centuries reverse engineering ourselves.
That's true.
Yep.
Okay. Writers are people who convinced everyone to care about their imaginary friends.
That's so true.
But like, think about J.K. Rowling. You know, like.
Well, think about C.S. Lewis. Think about Think about
no.
Tolkien.
Only think about J.K.
No, think about Tolkien.
Don't think about Tolkien. J.K. Rowling only.
Think about Tolkien.
Oh yeah, so true. I mean, he made everybody care about his own language that he made up. You know,
it's
like
true.
that's.
But so did Star Trek.
Intense.
Jean-Luc. Which, by the way, guys, Picard is out on TV now.
Have you watched it yet?
I watched all 3 episodes that are out.
Nice.
Worth it?
Well, I mean, I am.
He's a huge Trekkie, so I don't think he's like a very.
I'm not an objective reference for it, but
from your standpoint,
from my standpoint,
from his utter Trekkie situation,
it has so much history behind it, and so much relationships that I've shared with Picard on different. We've explored strange new worlds. We sought out new life and new civilizations. Obviously. We've boldly gone where no one's gone before.
Well, he has.
Oh my gosh!
And so because of that,
you've only gone where people have gone.
Because of that,
that's so depressing.
Because of that, I really enjoy the show. But I would probably give it, if you've never watched Star Trek before, it probably would be a 5 out of 10 for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, 5 out of 10. Yikes. Yeah. Okay.
Because it hasn't been a lot of action. It's been more dialogue so far.
If people haven't watched a lot of Star Trek, where would you recommend they start?
Well, probably, honestly, probably with Star Trek Next Generation. I probably would skip the original Star Trek with Captain Kirk.
With Kirk. And Next Generation is Picard.
Picard.
Next Generation, I watched the reruns as a kid. I love that show.
Yeah.
I've seen them randomly, like here and there. I haven't seen
They're
anything
really good.
consistently.
Yeah. I don't know if I would encourage people to watch Deep Space Nine.
Do you want me to tell you something that you're going to be super jealous of for a second? I'm going to, even if you don't want me to. But I went to a casino that no longer exists in Nevada or in Las Vegas that was Quark's Bar and Grill and had dinner.
You know he's dead?
Yeah, no, I know. But it was his bar recreated in a casino, and you go and have it, and he comes around and like makes fun of you and stuff.
That's awesome.
Wait, this is a character from Star Trek?
From Deep Space Nine.
From Deep Space Nine. Well, he was in the Next Generation too. He just was more so in Deep Space Nine.
That's fun.
Was he actually in Next Generation?
He was a Ferengi in Next Generation, but like not in a lot of episodes. My uncle says, "Be careful, Jordan. Don't say anything about the president tweeting or where he tweets from. Your mother will not be happy." You know what? It's okay. I'll survive.
All right. You got any more shower thoughts? Oh. I don't think I have any more.
Yeah, tons.
Okay.
Being 5 minutes early to an appointment doesn't feel that early, but being 5 minutes late feels really late.
True. School group projects prepare you for a world that pays lazy coworkers the same as good coworkers.
Super true.
That's true.
In today's age, the most unrealistic part of National Lampoon's Vacation is the fact that they were able to both afford and get enough time off of work approved to take a family vacation.
True. When you reach your parents' age, when they had you, you suddenly realize how unprepared they were to have a child.
Super true. I know my dad said like when he because I was the oldest, like when they put me in the car, he was like, his first thought was, "You're really gonna let me take this home alone?" Like,
so true.
You feel like I'm prepared for this?
Oh my god! Right. Even now, like 5 years after we just had our first kid, 5 years after our parents probably had us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Still,
it's really weird, isn't it? It's nuts. It's like I had a friend that explained kids really well. He said they're like toys that if you break them, you go to jail.
Oof. Yeah. Yep.
All right, 2 more, Jordan. 2 more.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to do one. When playing Truth or Dare, kids are usually afraid of the dares, while adults are more afraid of the truths.
Ooh, insightful.
Super true.
Damn. Yep.
Interesting.
Let's see. I'm trying to pick a good last one. This is good because this is the day that we're leaving. So we're leaving for Rome on this day. The 22nd of February, 2022 is 22/2/22 is on a Tuesday, making it a Tuesday, TWOS.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
That's a really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How do you guys come up with this? Can I just ask real quick, what's your creative process for shower thoughts?
Our creative process for shower thoughts is...
most of them are Reddit.
Most of them are on Reddit. There's a whole subreddit. It's just shower thoughts. Some of them are super bad.
Okay.
But you weed through them and you can kind of get an idea.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, these are good. I was like, how do you have this many every week? Like, you just came up with these in the shower? I'm taking it very literally.
We collaborate with
they must be taking long ass showers, just sitting there for 30 minutes. Like, I got another one. More hot water. Like
Our
your
trick
hot
is-
water bills must be insane if you're coming up with this shit. It's
We take
good.
cold showers. We take cold showers when we have these thoughts because they
And you take
flow
them
much
together
quicker.
just to make sure that you're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
as efficient
Jordan, you
as
got
possible.
one? Yeah, I got one. Hey, you just scrub behind your ears? Yeah, I got yours, buddy. Okay. Yeah, you got my bubbles? I got your
And
bubbles.
then we're back to another full 5 cents experience right there.
Yeah,
That
seriously,
you guys are creating with the shower
This
thought.
is a 5 cents shower thought, folks.
Oh, guys. Well, thank you for listening to episode number 48. Austin, bro.
Oh,
we
my
love you,
gosh.
man. Thank you so much for coming on,
Thank
my
you for
big
having
man.
me. Yeah.
Thank you.
Pleasure as always. Guys, tune on, like us, subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and we'll talk to you soon. Love you all. Thanks for...
And we're going to be coming, episode
all the
50,
comments.
50, is going
2
to be
weeks.
coming at you from Rome.
Boom.
By the
That's
way, I
gonna
think
be-
it's Roma, not Rome. Like
Wait,
what you're trying to say.
Rome.
Rome.
You got to get that right before you go.
A
Rome.
Okay, that's actually that's,
A
that's pretty
Roma.
good.
Roma.
Yeah.
Roma.
You were kind of like
Something like
Rome
that.
earlier.
I never said Rome. I said
You
Roma.
kind of did, but
It's
you
a
got
pizza
it. You got
pizza.
it now.
You said
learned it.
aroma.
A
A
Roma.
Roma.
A
There we
Roma.
go. That works.
A
That's what-
fettuccine.
Yeah,
A
you guys are gonna nail
spaghetti.
it.
A pizza. A pizza pizza.
That's literally all the words you need. You're
There you
gonna
go.
be
Yeah,
perfect.
that's it. We're going to be amazing there. They're going to love us. They're going to ask us to come back.
All right, guys.
All right.
Peace
For
out.
sure.
All right.
A-Train.
See ya.
All right, thanks.